there's a handful of reports that we need to hear. So before we get started with reports, I know there are some of you that don't know each other. So let's do a round of introductions fairly quickly. And we'll start, well, I'll just start at the top. Mr. Johnson, you would be first on my list.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Larry Johnson, Mesa Veterans Resource Center.
Thank you. Lee?
Good morning, everyone. Lee Huff with Congressman Andy Biggs. I do veterans issues for the congressman.
Yes, you do.
When our office is open. We had to close it down again.
Glad you're here. TC?
TC, currently with Desert Wind, Harley-Davidson, and Air Force veteran.
Thank you. Love having our veterans on here. Sandy?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandy with AdvisoCare Hospice.
Thanks. Bobby?
Hey everyone, good morning. Bobby Zavala. I'm with the University of Dubuque. I'm a retired Army guy and happy to be here. Love it.
Also a veteran. Thank you.
I am.
Councilmember?
Councilmember Thompson, Kevin Thompson. Just call me Kevin. Air Force vet, Desert Storm.
Wow.
Oh, Air
Thank
Force.
you. Willie?
Hi, everybody. My name is Willie Higgins. I'm the apprenticeship director for the state of Arizona. And I just recently signed a veteran to my staff.
Nice.
Her name is Lakiva Simpson, and she's an Air Force vet. She's awesome. So we'll bring her on board at the next meeting and she can all meet her.
Super. Thank you. Linda?
Linda Haskell, Mesa Chamber of Commerce.
Ooh,
Thank you.
2 years in a row, Linda.
Brad?
Brad Burgraff from the Las Palmas Veterans Group, I guess. Hi, Larry.
Thank you. George?
Hi, George Bliss with Bliss Realty and Investments, Air Force veteran, Vietnam era.
Yay, George.
Hey, Lee.
Thanks, George. Brad?
Yes?
Wrong Brad.
Different Brad. Have we got two Brads?
Yeah.
You do.
Yes, hi, my name is Brad Bousquet. I'm representing Northrop Grumman, the Mesa gun site. Reason I'm joining is we're interested in opportunities to help out fellow veterans, whether it's volunteer, donation, support. So here to represent, and I am an Air Force veteran myself.
Well, you fit right in. Thank you. And we appreciate the interest.
We got to recruit more Army guys. That's all I got to say. I'm going to throw that out there.
Bobby,
I like the motto, fly, fight, win.
Yeah,
I got a text from David Campbell. He would have been on the call, but he's helping somebody at the hospital right now. He did send a picture if that counts. I'm not sure that counts, but we'll give him points for showing up on my text. So I was hoping somebody might be here from the Veterans Day Parade. They're not. So Larry, you were involved. You want to give a little update on how that went or how you feel it went?
Well, like most of 2020, I think honestly, they adapted very well, all considered. It's a tremendously challenging time, and I think the committee stepped up and did their best. I think because we were one of the few that actually hadn't had an event, many people were enthusiastic and just, they were engaging. They literally, being a reverse parade, for those who didn't know, they actually literally had the parade watchers normally drive do the driving by, if you will, and then the parade entries, we sat as a stagnant display on the side of the road. But lots of patriotism. You saw vehicles literally decorated to the hilt and filled with kids in the back and playing music and so forth. Some nice flyovers, and honestly, again, all considered, it was a really nice event. They did a good job.
I participated in both sides of it a little bit, and I thought it was really well done considering the challenges. It was really well attended to a point where, well, the parade was technically over and people were still driving through as people were kind of cleaning up and getting ready to go. The band was scheduled, I think, for like 2 hours and ended up being there closer to 3.5, something like that. I know they stayed way longer. Kevin, you guys participated as council. You were there, weren't you? What? Anyway, I know I saw some council.
Yeah, they had us in shifts. They had us doing shift work, so they were only allowing like 2 council members at a time, I think, to be out there. So my allocated time did not work with my allocated schedule, so I did not allocate myself to the Veterans Day Parade this year, unfortunately. It's always been, I've always loved going to the Veterans Day Parade. I just couldn't make it work this year.
Well, I think we decided just because Bob and I had gone down from the chamber and to take pictures and things, and we decided that we would definitely be a part of the parade next year, just because it was well done, and just tons of people, like Larry said, just like carloads of families coming through and little kids that were so excited. So, you know, kudos to them. I wish they were here. Larry, you want to get some updates? I know, even though it's been a different year, and for the most part, a lot of folks have been closed. Primarily, you've been open. And even though you haven't been open, some of the time you've still been working. You want to give some updates on all the things that have been going on at the Veterans Center?
All the things. Yeah, again, we focused really on trying to adapt, overcome, and reopen as soon as we possibly could. That was, you know, it's difficult to be safe and simultaneously be effective. And because we deal with so many homeless veterans, we deal with veterans that are dealing with, you know, crisis situations, PTS, and honestly, we get a slew of calls. Everything from someone that's literally having an episode, if you will, and they're dealing with a little bit of a breakdown, to those that are well, as a matter of fact, just yesterday I was working on with a gentleman who's fully disabled veteran up in Scottsdale, and he has a water leak underneath his driveway, and it's actually underneath the literally his concrete driveway. So it's going to probably take several $1,000s in repairs to handle that issue. So now I'm looking for grant funding and different opportunities to get those expenses covered. We're working with partners like Operation Enduring Gratitude to see these things through to fruition. But our greatest challenge, again, as it has been for the last year, is really whom are available to assist. You know, we can navigate all we want, but ultimately, at some point, we have to, you know, step up and get these things handled. And it's been challenging. It's been really challenging. So, been fairly successful though. Still have of course, the employment classes have been going on as well. We've had 3 bouts of COVID lately in the office recently, and now we're shut down through at least the beginning of the month. It's very difficult, but we're still doing what we can. We're also looking at our Cans and Clothes for Heroes event, which is something we started in the midst of COVID last year. That's where we went out and did a lot of collections for our partner organizations, and we literally would stock the shelves, if you will, of the food banks, all the way from Apache Junction, United Food Bank, as well as Midwest Food Bank, to clothing and household items with our partners in Stuff's Thrift Store and Desert Purple Heart. The nice thing about that is those partnerships I've worked on, every time I run into a veteran who needs some assistance, we can literally write a voucher, and they're willing to honor any needs that we have. So it's a really good collaboration that we've created, and we're working on the next round of that for 2021. I think those are going to be ongoing efforts. A lot of grassroots type efforts, but nonetheless, they're definitely needed, and they really help us serve the veterans better.
Hey, Larry, I didn't quite catch the problem you were having. Was it a plumbing problem?
It's actually the main supply line from the street that provides it's actually a condominium, but the line that runs underneath the driveway is broken and needs to be replaced. And because the house it's up in Scottsdale, but the condominium is about a 1980s build. the idea is to go ahead and replace the entire water line, the main supply line that feeds into the house. So we're, there's going to be, like I say, several $1,000s in expenses related to that. So I'm looking at different options as far as handling those issues.
What is Operation Gratitude? I can't remember what they're called.
So actually, Charlie and his group, they do a lot of handicap and ADA accessible ramps for disabled veterans, and actually any veteran, if they need a roof, if they need a lowering of cabinets and countertop height and widening of doors, and it's a really good group. Again, a lot of volunteer effort involved with that organization, and they're kind of the boots on the ground, if you will.
Yeah, I know who they are. I just couldn't remember the name of them, but and they do a great job. You're right. Are they able to help out in the least, or?
Yeah, I talked to Charlie. Like I say, I told him I'd start working on. He took a look at it. We're working with the HOA to find out what their restrictions are, if we can replace the entire water line, and rather than just patching and piecemealing it, because again, once we dig up that or we chip out the concrete, we'd rather just replace the line so we don't have another leak spring up, 5
under
feet
the
over.
Concrete, yeah.
Exactly. So that's and then re-pour it. So that's
is funding a problem with that?
Well, like I say, I have a few contacts, thanks to George and many others who support the organization. I can make a couple of calls, and I think we'll be able to get this funding handled. We also have some opportunities through our partnership with Coalition of Military Families. I think that's what they're called. I still am learning all the acronyms, but anyway, they have some grant money available too for these types of issues. So I'm checking a few different options, including the local municipalities typically have some funding assistance that are available. But I'd like to have true numbers and a complete estimate before I start really, hunting, if you will. So
okay.
It is in Scottsdale. That's the other challenge I think that we have, is because so few are open. They find us and we are open. So I have veterans that are contacting us from Phoenix and Mesa and Scottsdale and throughout the state, literally looking for assistance, just because so many places are closed. It's a true challenge right now. There's no doubt about it.
Larry, I recommend you, I'll give you a name of a person you can contact at the Arizona Pipe Trades. They got a bunch of contractors. They got a lot of veteran plumbers. They got a lot of contractors that like to provide some help. So that might be a really good contact for you, and you can talk to them guys. And they've got some funding that they would do outreach for. So that's a good one for you. I'll send that to you in an email.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Arizona Pipe Dreams?
Pipe Trades. It's a local union. It's a local 469. They're headquartered over on about 30th Avenue and West Thomas Road there.
Okay.
And Larry, if it's a funding issue, I'm not allowed to ask for funds ethically, but I may do it. But if you were to send me in a Facebook need or something like that post, I can repost that. And I have a lot of people out there that would love to donate to veterans.
Yeah.
I just have to be careful.
I understand.
Larry, do you want to talk about your event that you actually did hold?
Are you talking about our smoke and whiskey, I'm assuming?
Yes, it was a great event.
Yeah, that was, I think that event was spectacular for one single reason, and that's because we were the only ones having an event. So all kidding aside, we had some wonderful entertainment with Blaine Long, a local artist who was on is it America's Got Talent?
The Voice.
Oh, The Voice. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, and it was really well attended. A lot of, I don't know, I think there was great camaraderie. Obviously we were limited space. We only had about 50 people in attendance in total. It was an outdoor venue, but that was great. Councilmember Thompson stepped up to help us get that venue secured, and we had a lot of support to make sure that we had a safe and enjoyable evening. But it was more about creating awareness. We recognized a couple of people, including Councilmember Thompson for his efforts and support of our of Mesa Veterans Resource Center and this entire Mesa Veterans Program initiative. So, of course, the Chamber stepped up, as did the Mesa Veterans Program. So we appreciate that support. We also have our veterans, well, we actually have a reflection garden that we've been working on and it's now all but complete. I just got another inquiry this morning for somebody else that wants to help us. And we might even have an opportunity to build a gazebo down there in the courtyard, which has now become our reflection and healing garden. This was a project of the Mesa Mesa Leadership Program, rather, out of the Chamber about 3.5 years ago or 3 years ago. I'm losing my day because I want to, or my year because I want to skip over 2020. But anyway, they had a great idea. They really transformed our garden, and now we're actually starting classes as soon as we can get through this most recent bout of shutdowns. We're starting classes for veterans assistance, including everything from financial planning and preparedness to self-defense, health and wellness. We actually have counseling and mental health classes that we're doing, including art, and we're just trying to safely reintroduce our vets to society, trying to get them out of their holes, if you will. And it's really difficult with many of our vets who suffer from PTS, who don't manage it well, at least. It's really difficult when you isolate those individuals and their support networks go away. So we're trying to find a safe alternative and option to bring them back together and again, just if anything else, just be able to share some peer-to-peer time.
Thank you. Brad, do you want to talk about what the efforts are for your friends at Las Palmas?
Well, okay, I'm kind of representing them, and Keith couldn't make it today. He's actually in charge, excuse me. Anyway, and basically because of everything, we haven't done a whole lot. We've been trying to figure out how to even have a meeting. I was just talking with Keith this morning, and he's feeling brave. So he's thinking about trying to do a Zoom. That sounds kind of scary to both of us. Moving right along. I do have, by the way, Larry, as soon as I can figure out when you're going to be open so I can bring it down, he told me to tell you we got $183 from aluminum cans for December and January. So as soon as we know when you're going to be there, one of us will zip that down. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet. He actually, through a whole lot of talking, okay, got our blood drive organized again in February and got it approved to actually do it at our clubhouse. And then after getting it approved, because everything spiked, welcome aboard, Larry. Okay, we decided to cancel again and probably push it off until April. And that's pretty well about everything that we've had going, to be honest about it. And hopefully I'll be able to start volunteering again down with Larry here if the numbers ever go down. Or I'm scheduled for my vaccine here in February, so maybe I'll get safe that way.
Good, that's good news.
That's all I've got. Oh, and for the guy that was worried about all the Air Force, I'm Army.
Great.
Outstanding.
Councilmember Thompson, you want to give us an update what's going on?
What's going on with what? What do you want? With the city? I mean, there's like, if you're like wanting a district update, there's a ton. If you're wanting the city, you know, there's just a lot going on citywide. We just had our study session this morning. You know, we were talking, one of the things, it was one of the agenda items this morning we were talking about was fireworks. And, you know, because we do have a lot of veterans that suffer from PTSD, and every 4th of July and every New Year's, you know, we have issues, and all of council gets emails. You know, the sad truth is that the legislature has really tied the hands of local cities, local governments, and taken away a lot of our abilities to legislate on things. that become a state issue, they call them. But, you know, the unfortunate part is that, you know, we can write the ordinances and we can write laws and we can implement laws all day long, but if you can't enforce them, you know, there's no use in having the laws on the books or having the ordinance in place. And that's kind of where we're at, where council is kind of, you know, there was a lot today they were throwing out about, you know, let's try to write a law, or let's try to get an ordinance or resolution in place that talks about, you know, quiet hours, and talks about the different things that, you know, to try to eliminate the amount of mortars and aerial fireworks, which are, you know, those are really the illegal fireworks. Keep them from being sold or being used. And I said, and so I chimed in. I said, you know, the unfortunate part is that we all are frustrated with this, but unless the police officer actually catches the person in the act of lighting the firework, you can't enforce it. And so a neighbor can call all day long and say, you know, the guy next door is firing off fireworks. Unless the officer actually sees the guy firing off fireworks, they can't intervene or really enforce the laws that are on the books now. And so, you know, and as unfortunate as it is, they're also dealing with a lot of domestic violence issues. They're dealing with DUIs on these types of holidays. And to me, those are more priority calls. Unfortunately, those take a higher priority over fireworks discharge. But you know, but council's thinking about that. They're thinking outside the traditional of what councils do, and they're looking to, you know, we're always doing something right, trying to make our city better. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is making our community a better place.
I was watching study session this morning. I was glad to hear that there was discussion about fireworks.
Yeah.
I know in our neighborhood, it's horrible.
Well, you guys, I think it was either you or Mulberry that got ABC 15 News out because the mortars were going off and shaking.
It's the epicenter, I swear. It's horrible.
I figured it was probably Larry. When somebody said, I think it's coming from over in Santa Rita Ranch, I was like, Larry, dang it.
It's not Larry, but it's literally a cul-de-sac away from our house. It's pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kevin. Bobby, you want to give an update? What's going on with University of Dubuque? What's going on in your world with your other veterans initiatives?
Yeah, definitely. Good morning, everybody, again. Very honored to be here this morning. As you guys can see behind me in that little cool flag that's next to Old Glory right there, the University of Dubuque, it's sideways. I'm the Senior Director of Admissions for the University of Dubuque. We're actually a university out of Iowa, and we've been in the Valley for about 3 years. And it's a nice little campus. We have 20 classrooms. We offer 6 bachelor's degrees and 1 master's degree. The main campus has been around since 1852. And the reason we're in Phoenix is, if you think about it, and you guys, when I say this, you guys will know somebody, if not yourself, because I was part of it as well. Phoenix has the 5th largest population in the United States of people who started college but never graduated. Think about that for a second. And I'm a victim of that. Started college, failed miserably because I was an 18-year-old punk, had no idea. My dad said, I'm not paying for you to go to school anymore, so you're either going to get a job or you're going to join the service. That's where I went. So I went in the Army. 23 years later, I graduated and became a civilian and came back to the Valley. And so, you know, that just is an example of me, of how many people are in the Valley that have started, but for whatever reason, life got in the way. Kids, careers, moved, and they never graduated. So what we do here at Dubuque is we go for the adult learner, somebody who's working full time, and you want to take a night class. You remember the old night classes back in the 70s and the 80s, and you take 1 class at a time. So let's just say you're going after a business degree, for example. You take business ethics, for example, and you take one class, and Professor Larry Johnson is my professor for that class. Like, and that wasn't me laughing, by the way, that was her. So, and Larry Johnson's my professor for that class. I get done with Larry's class, boom, I go to the next class. I go to Professor Sally Harrison. Sally is my next professor. I take business, macroeconomics. So whenever you take one class at a time, it's nice because as an adult, we don't have time to go to class for 8 hours a day. I know I don't. I don't know about you all, but I know I sure don't. So you take one class at a time, you get it done, you go to the next class. One class at a time, go to the next class. Very fortunate that through COVID, nationwide, we did suffer enrollment because people could not come to class. But one of the silver linings, and you always got to look at the positive, one of the silver linings about COVID was this, Zoom. So the nice thing is that you can actually take a class through the University of Dubuque. You can do it from the comfort of your own home, preferably with clothes on and dress from, the entire body, not just the waist up, because you're going to have to stand up eventually. And you can take your class from home, from the living room, in the kitchen. You don't have to come to class. Now, if you want to, we still have our classrooms open. We do enforce our social distancing. So we make all of our students wear, your mask while you're in class, along with the professors. But if you want to come to class, you can come to class. We have first aid stations set up with hand sanitizers and masks that we give out to all the students, all the professors. And enrollment is creeping back up, so it's nice. What else? I was very honored again to I went into the chamber and I got my really cool shirt. So I have to wear it today. Yes, I got my veterans shirt and very proud to wear it. I also am the chair of the Tempe Military Affairs Committee. So I'm hoping that we can combine our Mesa with the Tempe and we can have a greater impact in the Valley because there are so many veteran issues that as Larry can tell you, people's plumbing, people's cars break down, they need a ride to the VA. They don't even know where the VA is. There's just so many things out there that I think if we can take all 18 of these different veterans groups or 28 and try to focus and say, hey, let's do this with the veteran in mind and try to bring it all together, I think we can make a heck of an impact. So very honored to do that. Yesterday I was in Mesa all day. I was just telling Mike, my partner here, how much I love being in Mesa all day. I was with Linda's ambassador group and we were doing some ambassador stuff and loved it. So next time I'm in Mesa, I'm going to send an email so you guys can take me out to lunch. Other than that, I can yap all day long, but I just want to say thank you guys for having me. Yes.
Any kind of special pricing? I mean, are there any kind of discounts or anything for veterans?
Well, you know what? As a matter of fact, this is, and I have to give Mike kudos for this. So when the University of Dubuque came to the Valley, one of the things that Mike, because he was the first employee and he's got like 20 years of higher ed experience, and he knew the landscape of University of Phoenix, Grand Canyon, Ottawa. He knew all these landscapes. And what he did was he advised the main campus, if you come to Phoenix, first of all, you can't have crazy tuition because no one's going to want to come here, first of all, because nobody knows who we are. Second of all, you can't even pronounce Dubuque. How do you say that? Yeah. So, and then second of all, if the tuition is astronomical, like a lot of the other schools, they're not going to want to come here. So what he did was the federal TA. So if you're an active duty soldier or airman or Marine or sailor or Coast Guardsman, if you're getting the federal tuition assistance, it's $250 per credit. Think about that for a second, because the average just here in the Valley per credit for undergraduate classes is like $520. It's ridiculous. I mean, that just goes to show how crazy these private schools are. They just raise the tuition because they're for profit. The nice thing about being a nonprofit school, and the nice thing that Mike had done, is he had gone to the main campus and said, hey, we need to keep it at 250 or below, because if we can get the soldiers, the sailors, the Marines, and keep it at their level, then we'll be that much more marketable in the valley. So they actually came back to Mike and said, instead of 250, we're going to make it 215, $215 per credit for undergraduate classes. So for undergrad classes, for bachelor's classes, the price per credit is $215, 215. And the price for graduate level classes is $260. So the price for graduate level classes, if you guys get a chance to do some research, is 600 plus per credit in the valley. It's ridiculous, and that just goes to show these money making schools. I love them to death. God bless them, but this is what they want. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you for that. We need to, if you've got some kind of a flyer or something on it, I think it'd be great for MVRC to have, but the chamber can certainly push that out too.
I would love that. I would greatly appreciate it.
Now, with people being out of work and maybe an opportunity to do some more education and training.
Truly, and that's what we're finding. A lot of folks are unemployed, or a lot of folks are semi-employed, and they're thinking, what do I got to do to make myself above my peers? How am I going to set myself apart? And
Right.
As we know, education, if you can knock out your bachelor's, your master's, you're only going to improve your chance of
Sure.
better pay, better positions, better jobs. So
Yeah,
it's a win-win. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sandy, do you have veterans in your facility?
So we go into the homes, but we do have quite a good number of veterans on service with us, and we are also working towards increasing our We Honor Vets level. I'm familiar with, I used to be very involved with it with my past organization, and so we are actively working in my current organization to get advanced in that level of that partnership. So definitely always wanting to provide our social workers with resources where they can go to help our veterans as much as possible. So wanted to participate in the group today to see how not only I can gather resources for our patients, but how we can support other veterans in the community. And I was already very much aware of the Mesa Resource Center for Veterans, but I'm glad to meet other people and see what other resources are out there.
We're glad you're on the call. Thank you. So we have some other newbies on the call. So TC or Anthony, Jessica, Brad, you guys want to give any updates how your businesses work with veterans? What connection you have?
Yeah, I'd like to. May I start?
You may.
So we've been able to maintain some small events here. So we've been doing smaller events here throughout the whole year. That's a way that we can help the program. If you need a place to have an event, a small event, we are certainly open to that. As you all know, a large part of our customer base is veterans. And a large part of our customer base is they don't just come here and buy something and leave and never come back. There are people that come here every week, sometimes every day, just to hang out. So it's a good central location, and we also get a lot of our customers are local business owners, those kind of things. So I still believe it's a good place to help if we can. If there's any way you can think of that we can help out the program, that's what I'm here to do, is to just have a place to bring people together. We've had a really good year. Our business has been really strong. It was odd, but 2020 was a record banner year for us at the dealership. We ended up finishing the 5th in the world as far as Harley Davidson sales. And yeah, so we did better than all the other dealerships in the valley. But aside from that, we embrace the veteran program. We want to do everything we can to help. And if there's anything that's going on that we can help promote here, a lot of our people come through and pick up flyers, and so we'd like to support the program that way as well.
Super, thank you. Anthony, do you have anything? You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you. You have to unmute, Anthony.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm with Vantage West Credit Union. We've been around since 1955. And as we've started to expand in the Phoenix area, we've been really excited about the Mesa market just because of how large it is, especially with a lot of our veterans being in the Mesa area, the Apache Junction area. We actually just opened up our newest location in the East Mesa area. So we're really trying to get back involved in the community. I know COVID has been a learning curve for us all, but we have not stopped assisting our community, especially our veterans, by continuing to support local food drives, getting involved in the community, all while still expanding in the Mesa area. And as a lot of businesses have unfortunately seen negative impacts, we have continued to grow and expand in the whole Phoenix area, but specifically the Mesa market in 2020 and 2021. And we look forward to continue to assist everybody in the community, and especially partnering with our veterans. Since we started off as Davis-Monthan Air Force Base back in 1955, servicing only our servicemen and women, and we slowly started venturing out, assisting their families and the community alike. So yeah, I'm just excited to start getting involved in all of these and learning more about everybody else involved here.
Great, thanks for being on the call. Are you at the location on Chrisman?
I'm at the location at North Stapley on McKellips and Stapley Road. Our newest location is off of Chrisman and Baseline. And yeah, we're very excited about that location.
I pass it every day.
Service even more people.
Thank you. Lee, do you have anything? I mean, you know, you guys got to be a little bored right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're all working from home right now. There's a mob mentality out there that hates the boss for his support for Trump, and so we're playing it safe. But a few things that little VA doesn't seem to be getting any better, especially with COVID. I have a lot of veterans that can't seem to get an appointment or can't get callbacks, and so they reach out to us for that, and we try, but it's kind of tough. I'm concerned about this new vaccine as far as the way the VA will deal with it. They can't keep to a schedule for anything, it seems at times. But you know, it's 2 shots, and if you don't get that second shot within a specific time frame, it doesn't do any good. You might as well have never got shots at all, I'm told, by the doctors. So I'm really concerned about veterans that need to go back and get that second shot, whether they'll be able to get it timely, because it's tough to get that shot as it is right now. And if you have the same problem with the second shot, then that's bad. That's something we're monitoring. Want to bring to everybody's attention that rub shoulder with veterans, especially veterans with PTS, that Mariposa Gardens, first Thursday of every month, has a 9 a.m. coffee. And they have really built quite the camaraderie there. So it's worth sending veterans to that, just so they can start building that friendship with different veterans. And I go, you know, every month, and it's a real feeling of patriotism to see these veterans and work together, and then the other thing that I'm considering working on, like to get your input on it, everybody. I was approached by a lady whose husband has PTS, real severe PTS. And after talking with her, I realized she felt she was all alone in dealing with this. she didn't know if her husband, the thing she was doing was way off the charts and that he's a bad guy now or what. And so I started thinking maybe it might not be a bad idea as a community if we can put together a spouse of veterans PTS group, so they can the spouses can come together and realize, oh, you know, my husband does this too. I'm not alone. I would love to figure out how we could put that together. We could hold it at our office, you know.
I think
But-
Larry's taking notes for you, Lee.
I'm sorry.
It looks like Larry's taking notes for you about a group.
Oh, good. Larry, you're the man. Yeah,
Well,
Larry, you
not
come
that
across
hard,
this.
you know.
But anyway, I would really love to see that come to fruition.
It makes sense. It sounds like it's of great need. I'm sure David Campbell's wife probably has input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry, if you need any help on that, I would definitely be interested in joining you. I can relate. I would be part of that group, I think.
Yeah. So
Thanks, Sam.
maybe for right now, if people can send me an email of maybe if we can just start with 3 to 5 spouses for a get together. And if you know of anybody that'd be interested in that, shoot me an email and I'll
I think
start
that's a good idea. Pull a little focus group together, see how that might work.
Could you put your email in the comments
Yeah, where's the comment section?
or the chat box?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you guys want to all put your information in the chat and you know, a note about what you're doing or what you're looking for, I'll save the chat and send it back out to all of you. And that way you have it. We have just a few minutes left. Brad, I was wondering if Northrop Grumman is hiring, if you're looking for, in particular, looking for veterans.
I would say that we have had, I guess, individual contributors to different veteran programs. I think our goal is to, we have about 250 people here in the Mesa site and probably about 20 to 30 or so veterans. So we're kind of looking to come together more of a group rather than individual, you know, contributors to reach out and see what we can do to help our fellow vets.
Great. Jessica, did you have anything, or Willie? Willie, I know you could talk all day.
Yeah, thanks, Sally. Well, I sent you an email with some of the latest and greatest.
Yeah, I'll send that out to everybody.
Yeah, send it out to everybody and they'll get a kick out of that. And one of the things that, and that's why I like to get on this call, because there's so many, I think Bobby touched on it, there's so many veterans groups out there trying to achieve the same thing. And Larry knows we're getting the military families, you know, the coalition there, get them all together. All of our transition stations at Davis Monthan, Fort Huachuca, Luke Air Force Base, getting those transition centers together. Well, the USDOL vets now, they're coming into town. They're starting up direct entry registered apprenticeship programs. And that information I sent to Sally, so you can look at that and you can see. And you know, I talked to me, they were exactly like this group. They're their own isolated little group that don't reach out and find out what's going on in the world. And there's all sorts of, and I said, look, 10%, there's actually about 9% of all of our apprentices in Arizona, and we got 4,450 apprentices are veterans. We want to get more. We need more veterans. And one of the big attractions for veterans is that they can access their GI Bill in a registered apprenticeship. They don't need to use it to spend it on education or anything. They can access it for themselves for a housing stipend or to pay for a vehicle or to have a vacation. Whatever they want to do with it, it's their money. We want them to be able to access that. So, And rather than talk all day about all of that good stuff, just if you get a minute and you want to find out about more what we provide, go to our website, azapprenticeship.com, and look at the opportunities. We have programs that are accepting applications and hiring today, and we have programs that are accepting applications for future hiring events. And this goes for Kevin Thompson, our council member there. I want everybody in Mesa to spread the word about registered apprenticeship, because this is my hometown. I met with Mayor Giles before. I met with the chief of police. I met with the fire chief. This is the biggest town outside of Phoenix, and this is one that's got the lowest amount of registered programs in the state. And I want to change that. You know, so whatever we need to do, if we can have your support. Northrop Grumman need to jump back on board with us again, even though you barred me from your premises because I'm not a U.S. citizen. Can you believe that stuff?
I made all the rules.
I know, but we'll get that. We have people that are U.S. citizens. We can make it work for you. But we want to. This is what we want to do. We want to grow female participation and veteran participation. And as I said earlier on in the introduction, we just hired a new lady to my staff who is a veteran. So we're very excited about the possibilities and growth for the future. And I'll leave you at that, but check out our website. My contact information is on there, azapprenticeship.com. Okay, have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll send that email that he forwarded to me out to all of you in a little bit. Jessica, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Sure. I guess I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jessica Etz. I'm a new chamber member as of the past few months, and I discovered this program. So my business is going to be a wine bar in East Mesa, and so it's not open yet. It'll be open in the end of the year, but I am a veteran, so these topics are near and dear to my heart. So I wanted to jump in and just see how I could support, and then just figure out what the program's all about. So when my business is up and running, I can help support more. But right now, at least, I'm here trying to learn, and I'll do what I can, but happy to be here. Thanks.
Jessica, where are you opening up at? You said East Mesa.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with East Mesa, it'll be in the Eastmark area. So Ellsworth and Ray off 24 East in the 202. There's nothing like it over here, and there's a lot of dirt. There's a lot of new commercial business space that's going up. So I'm working on a lease there. So I'm going to be waiting for the building to be built. So that's as soon as that's ready, I'll be able to open. But yeah, that's the location. So
awesome. I believe you're working with one of our realtors too.
I am, yep. Bliss Realty, Sean, he's great. So if you're looking for a commercial real estate person, he's your man for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, you'll see.
Yeah, thanks for all your support. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm glad that it worked out.
Yep.
I'm glad you're in our area.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. Kevin's like, yes, bring it on. All right, well, it's almost noon. Anybody have any last minute things? Larry, what's the next event that you're planning for MVRC?
We did have a Jeep ride scheduled for the end of February, but I think that's ambitious to say the least at this point. So more than likely, we're going to have to postpone that again, push it back a little bit. Obviously, this is an interactive ride. We actually will take out veterans. We'll even remove seats if necessary, and try to get the veteran into the vehicles and actually take them on an outdoor excursion. So the idea is to take them out on some four-wheel driving trails, provide them for breakfast as well as lunch once they return, and then have an event, music and some interactive activities and things. Just again, get the veterans back out and engaging and interacting with colleagues, peers, and fellow veterans. So anyway, that said, we're again more than likely going to push back on that as well. So I just say stay tuned. I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep, and unfortunately, I've had to postpone too many things over the last year and a half as it is. So we also have the stand down coming up. Again, that's scheduled for February. I'm not sure if that's going to end up being interactive. Lee might know a little bit more about that, but we normally go down to the stand down, which is the largest in the country, by the way. And for those who don't know what a stand down is, it's basically where all military veterans and so forth can come down and get just about any service they could imagine, from legal assistance, dental, vision. They actually have several support organizations and agencies that are down there, food. We often take down several, probably 100+ blankets and hand those out, toiletry, bags, and so forth. So anyway, that's a great event. It is held down at the county fairgrounds in Phoenix. So it's a centralized location, but I'm still not sure if that's going to move forward. So if anyone has any updated information, please.
Well,
do share.
drop zone is a little bigger deal than stand down, but that's just my personal. But we don't know if we're going to do drop zone this year. I haven't heard. So I haven't heard about the stand down either.
I'm registered for the stand down, but I'm not sure if it's, I just anticipate with the spiking numbers, I can't imagine that will move forward.
I haven't heard.
Hey, Larry, are you starting up your cans and clothes drives again?
We're starting that, and see that was actually, so my background is chamber CEO out in Apache Junction. So I had a lot of connections with many of the 55+ parks. Talked to a developer, well, Brad Alstrom with Sunland Springs Village, and I'm trying to think of the development company now. I can't think of it, but anyway, thank you, Farnsworth. And they actually started this project with, it was basically just a community get together. We formed a veterans group out within Sunland Springs Village, and they wanted to come together and collect cans and clothes with us. So we kind of brainstormed this up, and it went from basically one event to 7. And then we ended up having donations from even businesses that were a business all the way up in North Phoenix that was shutting down, Down East Home and Furniture, I believe is what it's called. Anyway, they shut down, and Sally and I went up and picked up probably about $20,000 in clothing, women's and children's clothing. So we've had a lot of success with this project and program, supported a lot of veterans. And again, it's kind of a grassroots effort. It's a way to get people engaged, create awareness about what we do, and simultaneously collect items to support our veterans. So it's a really good effort. We don't have our first project lined out just yet. Again, everything is a bit up in the air. The nice thing is we are able to do this with a hands-free or no-touch environment. So what we do is we promote it within the 55+ communities. They're typically gated, and we schedule a time, say our pickup's going to be between 9 and 11 o'clock on a Saturday. And I literally load up the van, we put patriotic music on, and we ride through like the ice cream man through the neighborhoods, handing out brochures and information about us, dropping off donation receipts, and of course picking up the clothing and food. So it's a great way to create awareness about what we do, but also help support our veterans simultaneously. So
good.
Stay tuned.
Hey, that made me think of, I have a lady that wants to give away a washer and dryer, gas dryer, to a veteran. If anybody knows.
The challenge for us a lot of times is part of the reason we've created these partnerships is because I don't have a warehouse. So a lot of people that want to donate, they say, well, I want this to go to a veterans benefit. So what we do is we've just established relationships with these, well, honestly, they're thrift stores. But so the items may very well be donated to the thrift store, and your specific item might not end up in the hands of a veteran. However, because we're able to support them, and in turn they will support us, we're able to then make sure that, ultimately write a voucher and make sure that the veterans are served. So it's a great and symbiotic relationship. However, when it comes to some people, they really want to make sure, I want my grandfather's suit to go to a veteran who's applying for a job. That's really difficult for us to manage. So again, I just don't want to make a promise that we can't keep or is unreasonable.
All right, thank you. All right, we have like 1 minute left. Linda Haskell, do you have anything you would like to add? Maybe from nonprofit?
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. So for anyone who is interested, we do have a Nonprofit Vitality Council meeting on the second Tuesday of each month. And this brings together anywhere from, 25 to 50 nonprofits, and so you can learn about what's going on with them, and you can also learn the needs. So I would highly encourage you to participate in that, you know, at least visit that group, because I think it would be really eye-opening to hear what the needs are and what's going on. So, and on that note, I'm just going to say, Larry, bring it on. We want you to come to Las Palmas and get our clothing and canned goods. People are ready, so.
There you go. You heard it here. All right.
I got
well,
a
thank you,
truck. I got a
everyone.
truck if you need it.
Appreciate everyone being on the call and kicking off the new year. It's nice to have a larger group. Councilmember Thompson and I have another call that I have to open up for the Southeast Business Group that starts in about 5 minutes. So Kevin, do you have anything, any final comments?
I'm good. Thanks for all you guys do to support our veterans.
Rock on, man. It's going to be a good year for our veterans.
Right.
Absolutely.
We got to see to it, right? Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.